Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon and today I'm bringing you my TBR for March. So first things first, I'm going to run through the cards I pulled for February and let me tell you, I failed. I'm in a really bad reading slump. So having a TBR game while you're in a reading slump isn't the best thing because I just feel like I'm failing all the time. But I'm gonna roll with it and just take the punishments as they come because what else is your girl gonna do? You know, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna roll with it. The first card I picked last month was to read a book with a badass sounding main character, and I had to make this paranormal or horror to get a point. For this, I chose to go with Lore by Alexandra Bracken, and I decided to DNF this. I think I got to the second part, yeah, so I got about 163 pages through and I just wasn't enjoying it. I felt like the world building was pretty weak and I kept getting confused on all the gods, the new gods, old gods, the gods that are not gods yet but can take God's power. I just felt like it wasn't explained enough and I kept confusing myself and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I have decided to DNF this and I'm still going to give myself the point just simply because I did try this and it is no fault of my own that I didn't like this, and I just feel like DNFs still count. I still read a good amount of this book, I still picked it up, gave it a try, and I didn't like it, so I DNF'd it and I'm still taking the point, so DNFs definitely count to my point tally. This counts as 1 point, so I'm now up to 3 points in my TBR game with this point included. I am pretty sad that I did not mesh well with this book, but I am happy I gave it a try and now I can take it off my TBR. The next card I pulled was to read a book with a new relationship slash friendship, and I get bonus points if it is fantasy. For this, I ended up picking Zodiac Academy Volume 1, The Awakening, and I did not get to this month. Again, I'm in a pretty solid reading slump that just won't budge at all, so yeah, I didn't get to pretty much the majority of my TBR and I have not been reading, so you know, it's fine. This goes back onto my TBR and I will try it again at another point and hopefully soon because I am excited to dive into this world still, and yeah, I just didn't get to it, you know. It happens. The next card was to assign a most anticipated read, and for this, of course, I picked House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. I am currently reading this, so I'm totally counting it as a point. Where am I? I'm on chapter 30, so like I'm like 350 into it and I'm still enjoying it. I just feel like because I'm in a slump, this is a pretty big book and my brain just isn't functioning on the level that it normally does when I read Sarah J Maas. And this is how I know I'm in probably the worst slump I've ever been in, because I've never struggled with a Sarah J Maas book. I've never not read one in less than a week, and I know I'm in such a bad slump because it's been about a week and a half and I'm still only 350 pages into this. I'm counting it as a point because I've started it, and any books I start get counted, and I just feel like my slump is totally determined by the fact that I have not read this and devoured this yet, and this is probably the worst slump I've ever been in, simply because I've never struggled with a Sarah J Maas book, but apparently I am now. And even though I'm immensely enjoying this and I will have a vlog out for it soon, I suck, okay? Like, I suck and I'm in a reading slump, so probably not a good idea to be in a reading slump and add in like loads of books to my TBR, but I feel like I'm gonna read anyway, so having a TBR, even if I fail it, it gives me some kind of direction even when I'm in a slump. So I'm hoping that the TBR game will actually take me out of my slump because it'll give me some structure and some direction rather than just picking up books willy-nilly and hoping that they break the slump, whereas I can kind of track and plan and hopefully bust this reading slump. The next card I pulled was to assign a top priority book, and for this I assigned Razorblade Tears, which is the Literally Dead book club pick. I didn't get to this. I feel like this whole video is just me saying that like I didn't pick up the books that I was meant to pick up, which is fine, it's fine, we're just gonna go with it. And if you hear any really dodgy noises through this video, my belly is like having a fun time at the moment and I don't know why, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I did not get to this book, but I will be getting to this book at some point because again, it is the Literally Dead book club pick and I really want to start pulling some of those books into my TBRs so that I can actually complete some and join in on the discussions that Kayla has on her channel, which looks so great that I just can't wait to participate if I finally eventually fucking read one of them. And the last card I pulled was actually a punishment card because I didn't finish my January TBR, which means I had to put a punishment on my February TBR. And my punishment card was to listen to an audiobook, and I get bonus points if it's paranormal or horror. And I decided in my TBR video not to assign this card a book in the video just so that I had a bit more free reign with it. But I did end up deciding to listen to Bridge of Souls by V.E. Schwab. This is the last book in the Cassidy Blake series, where we follow Cassidy Blake and her sidekick ghost friend as they travel to different places and see haunted things. And I really enjoyed the end of this trilogy. Did I even... No, well, I haven't even finished a book yet. This was like the first book that I could actually rate in this video. I gave this book a 4 stars. I gave all of the books in this trilogy a 4 stars, and I love V. Schwab's writing. I really enjoyed this trilogy and I'm glad that I got to complete it this month because I done very little this month, so like this feels like an accomplishment. And outside of my TBR, I did manage to read, or listen to rather, The Beast by Kate Roberts. This is the 4th book in the Wicked Villain series. I gave this 4 stars and really enjoyed this one. I think that this kind of helped me. Not only was it audio, but it also was like fun, romance, like smut, and it kind of helped me want to pick up more books, even though I didn't. It kind of made me pick up Bridge of Souls on audio. It made me want to listen to something else, so I have to give this book its props because it did push me to listen to another audiobook, which was the only reason I finished any books this month, because the only 2 books I finished were 2 audiobooks. So thank you to this book, and hopefully I can continue the series because I only have 2 books left, I believe, and I am really enjoying my reading of them. Now onto my TBR picks for the month of March, and I'm just going to go right in and roll the clip of me picking my first card. They're probably going to be out of order in the picking of it because I have a different order here, so I'm going to have to do some editing magic to make them fit. So they're all the same cards, I promise. They will be on the screen, you can look at them. I will just be editing them in a different order because I suck and wasn't prepared for the stack that I normally like organize to be in the order that I pick them. It's fine. We're gonna roll it. We're gonna go with it. So I should also probably mention that after January's TBR and February's TBR, I am now sitting with 6 points on my TBR game, which is not great, but it's fine. Like, I'm on a book buying ban, so I can't technically buy any books until I get 20 points, but I've already broken that ban because Granite Noir was this weekend and I wasn't passing up the opportunity to have personalised signed books from the authors I got the honour of watching in an interview and meeting in person. So like, I already broke the buying ban, but it's fine. We're gonna stop buying books now and wait until I hit 20 points on my TBR game. And the first card I have here is a fast-paced book, and I get bonus points if it's mystery or thriller. And for this, I'm going to go with We Were Liars by E.Lockhart. This is a book I've had on my TBR for a while. I've been avoiding spoilers for this since I started watching BookTube 5 years ago. I've also been avoiding spoilers now that it's getting more hype on TikTok and BookTok. But because it's been hyped on BookTok, I have seen it pop up quite a lot. It's very short, so hopefully this will help me beat the reading slump. And I am excited to see why everyone loves this. I know virtually nothing about this plot because, again, I've avoided everything about this book. All I know is what it says on the back, which is, "We are liars, we are beautiful and privileged, we are cracked and broken, a tale of love and romance, a tale of tragedy, which are lies, which is truth, you decide." That is all I know, because I have expertly avoided all spoilers or synopses. Pick one of those words on this book. So hopefully I can read this and it will beat my slump. I will have a vlog coming out for this, which is a themed vlog. So if you're interested in what themed vlog this is going to come up in, stick around, subscribe, hit the bell, and maybe comment down below and try and guess. I think it would be fairly easy to guess. But yeah, this is the first book on my TBR. The next card I have here is pick a diverse book, and I get bonus points if it's paranormal or horror. And I'm not going to get bonus points for this pick because I've decided to go with Dahlia Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Heron Blake. And I cannot wait for this. This was one of my pre-orders, so I don't mind losing the point to read something I am really excited for. And again, I'm trying to put things on my TBR that will hopefully beat the slump, like short books or books that I have excitement for, to try and feel like I'm picking things up that will be conducive to being in the worst slump ever, essentially. This book follows Dahlia Green, who goes back to Bright Falls, her hometown, to photograph her stepsister's wedding, and she wants to breeze in, breeze out, have no kind of stay. She wants to just do her thing and get the fuck out of there because she does not want to be there. Then Claire Sutherland, her stepsister's snobby friend, becomes part of this wedding festivities, and Dahlia decides that maybe staying around and having some fun might not be the worst thing after all. And Claire and Dahlia are thrown together in lots of different wedding situations, and they maybe seem to realise they judged each other before they knew each other, and that is all I'm going to say. I am excited for this. I cannot wait because it sounds so good and sapphic. So like, what more can you ask for, really? The next card I have here is a book with a favourite trope, and I get bonus points if it's mystery or thriller. And for this, I've decided to go with The Silent Patient by Alex. Forgotten his last name. It's on the screen. I decided to pick this up because it follows a woman who becomes virtually mute after committing a murder, and one of my favourite tropes is the look at a murder after the murder. So essentially, I like when we get the story from the person that murdered someone after it's happened. And because I feel like a lot of thrillers lead up to like this one big murder or big plot point that is like building up to, whereas I really enjoy the after effects. So like the interviews with the murderer and trying to figure out the why and like flashbacks to how it happened. So I'm hoping that this gives me what I want, and I think it will, because she gets interviewed by psychologists and she just doesn't talk. So I take it you get the information from everyone else, before she talks. So hopefully this is a fast read. I'm going to read this on my Kindle, so hopefully I will fly through this and really enjoy it. And yeah, this seemed like the perfect choice for this card. The next card I have here is to read a book with drama, and I get bonus points if it is fantasy. I will not be getting bonus points for this card yet again, because I am going to be reading Corrupt by Penelope Douglas with my best friend Seffi over at What Effie Reads. They will be linked down below as always. Highly recommend their channel, highly recommend them as a person. I love them. So we are going to be buddy reading this together, and it is one of the few Penelope Douglases that I have not read yet, and it's going to be interesting because this one is the one that has very mixed reviews, and I have been kind of staying away from while I read all of their other books, but I am excited to read this. I'm also excited it's going to be a buddy read because I've been trying to get Seffi to read Penelope Douglas forever. It may not be the best one to start with, but I'm hoping that it won't be so bad as to put them off the rest of Penelope Douglas's work. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for this buddy read. And of course, because I failed last month's TBR, I have to pick a punishment, which is going to come from the Jar of Thorns. So I'm going to get right into it. This one. Okay. What does this say? Oh no. I have to pick a book that I've previously said I would never read. Oh no. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let me have a look. So I have done an anti-TBR tag and said a lot of books that I wouldn't read. So now I'm going back on my word because of this punishment, which it's fine. It's fine. Let me find the video and see. Oh, do you remember when I used to start my videos as Hi My Loves? I haven't done that in a long time. Guess the hey hi hello thing just kind of stuck. I'm gonna have to pick something that I'm really not interested in, which sucks because I am in a slump, so that could literally put me in an even worse slump. But I have three options. I have Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, I have Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli, and I have The Martian by Andy Weir, I believe. So the reasons that I wouldn't read these was Red Queen I hadn't heard great things about, and I had also heard pretty shitty things about the author, I believe. Then we have Kate in Waiting. I've enjoyed some of Becky Albertalli's books, but I just feel like this one, because it involves like a famous plotline, which is not one of my favourites, I decided that it wasn't going to be for me. And then lastly, we have The Martian. I find it really hard to get into science fiction. Not that I'm not trying, it's just a genre that I haven't read much of and find hard to navigate. So I think out of all of these, I'm actually going to go with The Martian because I watched the film and I really immensely enjoyed the film. So I feel like the film was based on the book, and if the book's anything like the film, then it should be a success. And I feel like this is the best option. So yeah, I'm gonna go back on my word, and even though I said I would never read The Martian, and it's quite interesting that I said that I wouldn't read this book because The Martian's actually been on my TBR for a while, and I think maybe in the video what I was trying to say is that like I find it really hard to get into science fiction, and like they were the first books that were on my TBR that were science fiction. So I don't know, maybe in the video I wasn't actually saying I would never read these books, I was just saying that the whole science fiction genre is very daunting to me. But since these are the ones that flashed up on the screen, and I already have the Martian on my Kindle because, again, it's been on my TBR before, I am going to go with the Martian. So the Martian is now added to my TBR. And that is everything that I have for you today. I am pretty nervous about my TBR, but I'm going to try my best and hopefully beat the slump. I should also probably mention that Sky and Breath will be on March's TBR as well. I won't be getting any points and it will be a rollover. But nonetheless, it will be on this TBR because I'm still reading it and I'm vlogging it. So that's also added to my TBR. So we have House of Sky and Breath, Delilah Green Doesn't Care, We Were Liars. Then we also have to add The Silent Patient. Oh god, we have to add The Silent Patient on here, Corrupt on here, and The Martian on here. So this went from being like, this looks very reasonable, this looks so good, and then when you add in my ebooks on top of it, it starts to pile up. I have a genre that I'm very intimidated by in here. I have a big ass book in here. Also, Corrupt's a 500-page book. Like, oh no, like I'm gonna try my best. But if I come back next month and tell you I failed again, don't be surprised. Expect failure so that if I succeed, it's an accomplishment of the highest variety, okay? Okay. And that is it for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. If you like this or want to see any of my future content, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, and like this video. It helps me out. And if you're new here, introduce yourself in the comments. I will aggressively welcome you to my channel. And I hope you have a brilliant day, week, weekend, whenever you're watching this. Stay safe, happy, and healthy, and I shall see you next time. Bye.